Today is Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. Time is 9:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, friends out there. Dennis Snappy II here with Sixth Sense Media. And tonight I'll be going over my world events predictions for the month of October 2021 using controlled remote viewing. I did this session a few days ago. I want to say September 27th, I think is the day that I did it, or 28th. I have it marked on there. I'm getting a timestamp to get it uploaded here on the 29th of September. Looking into the future, seeing what the major news headlines are going to be. I'm going to take a minute and go through. I think I had a pretty good month for my experience for my predictions for September that I completed in August, and I'm going to review some of that. I want to say a big thank you to those of you that were continually providing some feedback and commentary on my September world events predictions and some suggestions on areas I could look. It was really helpful, and it was exciting and motivating throughout the month to get some comments from you out there. So thank you all so very much. And a big thank you to those that I connected with on Facebook in the remote viewing community. If you're watching this, I had, I guess, a moment of despair, more frustration. Remote viewing is hard, and I hit a slump over the past week, and I just threw it out there. Hey, I just can't seem to hit a target. What suggestions do you have? And I got dozens of suggestions from experienced viewers. So thank you so very much for your insights. I felt really good doing my world events session. One of the recommendations I got was to do better for me to pay more attention to my feedback. I would do a remote viewing session, and I'd quick glance at the feedback and say, oh, I hit the target, or I missed the target, and that would be it. So I started going back and really looking at that feedback. I completed one for Hellfire, and I went and I spent a lot more time going through the feedback, and that, I think, helped close things off and helped prepare me for my next target. So I have other things I'm going to be trying as well, but that was pretty helpful for me to make sure I'm paying better attention to my feedback and comparing my data to it, as opposed to just going, did I get the hit or did I not? Because the reality, there's more to it with remote viewing, and I believe that and I experienced that. But when it comes time to look at my feedback, if I see I didn't get it, I just quick dismiss it, and I shouldn't do that. So that was a great little lesson for me there to really enjoy every aspect of the process and get involved in every aspect of it, including what you're doing with your feedback. So we'll see how my data really is for the upcoming month. But let me stop babbling over here, and let's take a look at some feedback that I've pulled for September's world events. Remember, this was the big month of the mushroom cloud. Everybody was afraid we were going to be looking at nuclear war. Fortunately, that so far has not happened. And I think that when you hear the term mushroom cloud, the analysis that our minds associate with it, at least let me say that my mind associated with it, was, oh my gosh, there's going to be a bombing. And I was trying very hard not to convey my own internal fears publicly, at least not in a way that was going to induce panic. I know there were a lot of rumors out there on the internet. And one of the things I did, and I'll try to post this later, I recorded my thoughts right after that session on how I was feeling about the possibility of a mushroom cloud, because I was afraid, but I didn't want to put that out there before the event happened, because I didn't want to scare people. And here's the thing, the data that you get, we didn't have a location, we didn't have a specific time. We had, so it's impossible, not impossible. We didn't have enough data to predict, hey, this is where this is going to happen. Let's warn some people. And you really have to be cautious, because you could be wrong. There could be another reason to account for it, which I'll show you during this session. You just don't know. So I like to proceed with extreme caution when I get data like that. And again, just to clarify, I'm saying we here, but number one, I'm really just someone who's practicing this, so I don't get to put myself in the category of everybody out there who's more experienced. But number two, I didn't draw the mushroom cloud. I am not counting myself in that category because I didn't draw the mushroom cloud. But I do remember I clearly saw it during my session, and that was a lesson learned last month. but I didn't draw it, so it doesn't count. So here we go. Here's my feedback. The mushroom cloud, it sounds like, was the eruption of La Palma volcano. There are several pictures online. You can look for them and see the volcano erupting, and it does have that clear, distinct mushroom shape. I pulled some things that I drew. My first sketch here was just this kind of low-lying rectangular building with the horizontal, I'm sorry, the rectangular window there. As you can see here, there is that rectangular building getting ready to be overtaken by the lava flow. I'm wondering if this line of windows here is what I was picking up there, that horizontal rectangular shape there, especially when they're lying flat, it would look more like a rectangle. So is that a hit? Is that target? I'm going to say target contact. I don't think I have any real hits here in this session, but I think I have target contact. I drew here, oh wow, shock, scary, explosion. It reminded me of the Lebanon boom, but I had this real big boom here in skyrocket. I had downward thrust, but this was obviously an upward thrust coming outwards. And here you can see this picture here on the left-hand side that I took from the internet here. It's just a Google search here. Okay. Then here is a headline here, and this Spain, lava from La Palma volcano to reach the ocean. Authorities have cleared coastal waters off the Spanish island of La Palma, where lava is expected to meet the sea to propel toxic steam into the air. So let's take a closer look at what I've got here in my session. So I have this shape here, and I had these two openings, which was weird. And I wrote churning, spinning, rumbling, boiling. And then I had the word seas and lava here. Obviously, we have sea and lava, as we see here. Lava from a volcano to reach the ocean. So I had that there. And then I had, this was a tipping point or turning point for all mankind to see. This isn't done yet. So is this going to go into that worst case scenario that many people are afraid of? I don't know. But if you can see here, and we're looking at these pictures, it looks like clearly if I was on an aerial view, two openings here on this. And I'm wondering if that's what I was picking up on here. Two fissures. Again, here, open here, maybe be a third one there. But I had that that drawing there, which is pretty cool. All right. And again, here we can see a lava flow, and it's moving from right to left, overtaking the land. Okay. And my drawing here, what I wrote here was ocean. And in my session, I perceived this as the ocean moving from right to left over the land. But this clearly could have been the lava flow moving over. And I had the term white noise, and I had birds. And again, if maybe this is something else, the worst case scenario of this event is boom, land falls in the water and tsunami hits the east coast of the United States. Hoping that's not what it is, but I guess time will tell. And then this was the cover of the New York Post, I want to say yesterday, September 28th. Let's take a look at it. What is that? It's a mushroom cloud. Okay, so maybe this is what some of the mushroom cloud data was, talking about this cover here that's going to lead towards this debt bomb that everybody's talking about. That's why we need to proceed with caution and not just panic people when we get scary data. Okay, it could have been anything. So looking at my next session here, this is event number 2. I had a structure, and I had an AOL of a railway or a tram car. And then I drew this railway issue, aerial view, track sounds, horn sounds. I had calm, but I feel a train moving. And I had a slow controlled stop. So that was off right there. But here up in Michigan, we had the train itself derail. Very sad. 5 people died on that one. There's another picture from it, the aerial view. You can see that the train derailed as well. Looking at my event 3, which I'm labeling this event 3, but in my session, I wasn't sure if this was part of the train derailing or not, but I had AOL of shipping, their hollow, empty, ringing sounds. I had disaster. So this disaster may still be connected to the train thing, but I think I was getting a bleed through with these shipping containers, slow moving, floating, containers floating in the water. Well, here clearly containers floating in the water on a boat. Shipping crisis could delay recovery, disrupt the holidays. This is from September 13th. There's some shipping delays coming out of China. I don't know why, but I labeled this shot heard around the world. Not sure what's happening. Something with shipping containers moving slowly or not at all. A controlled, intentional stop. So there's my feedback from last month. Thank you to those of you that sent me some of that data as a starting point for me in doing my review. I'm going to get to my my October here world events predictions. Let's get to it. I know that's what everybody's waiting for here. Okay. So, world events, October 2021. The viewer will describe the events that happened during October 2021 and are reported in the media during October 2021. Okay. That was my tasking. Here we go. And this is weird. I woke up the morning before. This was, I think, on September 27th. What date did I do this? Hold on. I woke up on this was the 28th I did this. I woke up on the 27th and I saw in my dream, it was right before I woke up, I was having a dream and everything was in grayscale. It was like a drawing of what I thought was a nuclear power plant, which I was talking about in my last month session. And it was all in gray and it had like a thin white mushroom shaped cloud coming out of the top of it. And I saw it, it was in gray, and I heard Dick's voice say, "This is a continuation of last month." And that was it. I'm not considering that remote viewing, but I put it in here just to see, if there's going to be anything to that. All right, so looking at my first event here, I have a bunch of ideograms. I've been really working on my stage one and slightly changing how I'm doing my ideograms and how I'm structuring it. I'm not quite happy with where I'm at yet, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. I think my biggest challenge here is just making my ideogram vocabulary more comfortable. I still have two or three that I immediately go to, regardless of what the data tells me, because that I need to up my vocabulary, and I've been doing that through ideogram drills. But so I had to do a couple pages of this. Here's some S2 data. Nothing that is relevant to the actual event that I pick up on, I don't think yet. But here I had an AOL of a spaceship or a space camp, a structure. And now we're looking at this structure: object, motion, round, curving, sloping, evolving, and moving. And I finally started to get some stage three shapes here: moving over space, rounding, curving, widening, expanding. I had an AOL of a blimp. I clearly saw this circular rounded shape, and it had humming sounds and engine sounds. And I saw what I perceived as a shadow down here. So I labeled the A, which is this sphere up here: spherical, saucer-ish, shapely, wide, open, hollow, expansive. And this down here is my B, where I had what I thought was a shadow: wet and damp. What's most interesting about this event, it's non-threatening, it's escalated, it's elevated, but it almost feels supernatural. AI, awe, and wonder. I'm thinking of this now. If you remember the movie Flight of the Navigator, there was that gray ship and it was just silently moving through. It's kind of what this looked like here. I'm not saying it's a UFO. I felt like almost like a balloon or a blip, and it was like, wow, that's really cool for people to see. I have an AOL of a parade. And this is supposed to be this structure moving, looked like down a street, and there were structures on the side of it. A large gray object floating down an area with large structures around it was unexpected and not a normal occurrence. You don't see this often. All right, looking at event two: hard, soft, flat, wavy, curvy, green, damp, rumbling, rolling, scrolling, ambience, heavy, lifted, structure, life. Looking at a little bit more data here. What is this event here? A lot of low level data that I'm going through. I'm not going to go through all of it here. Here we go. This is a natural event: messy, impactful, symbolic, piercing. Okay, now we're getting to the pictures here, and I had this structure. I clearly saw it was a brown structure, thinking it's more of a mountain and possibly an aerial structure in the air, an object or a helicopter. And I saw it in the distance, like a mountain in the distance, helicopter sounds. And I said, "What's the most interesting to me?" And I said, "This almost feels like a movie. It's surreal." And I saw a woman with gray, shortish hair. I think she was a little bit younger in my session, holding a microphone with that mountain structure in the background. I was like looking at a TV screen, watching a news report, woman with mountain in the background. And I had an AOL of La Palma because that's fresh in my mind. So I don't know if that's going to count as a hit if that continues. But what did I have? Loud noise, disruptive. Did I have an aircraft? Did something happen on the mountain? I asked myself. Smoke and fire. Was it a crash? I saw the mountain. I saw a little bit of smoke here on the right-hand side. and I thought I saw a life form calling for help. I had an AOL of survivors, pilot, and I had the word northwest side come to mind. Smoke, heat, blaze, white smoke, sizzle sounds, fuel smells. And then I saw a pilot with a green, looked like military helmet upside down through a window. Life form upside down, nervous, agitated. Is this a military crash? Is what I was wondering. All right, moving to event 3. I had a structure, small, tiny, robust. That says, I think that says freeze or forest. I can't read my writing sometimes. Heavy, order, organized, occupied. And then I had the AOL of heavenly. And I had an aesthetic impact of a gasp. Oh my gosh, it was occupied. Oh no, tragic, tragedy. This is so sad. There were people in there. Is this a church? I asked. And this is more of an AOL for church. And then I got a structure, a small structure. Did it collapse? Is it a building? Did it burn? And then I had S1.5. I heard all is lost. And I had an AOL of boys. I hear singing. Was it a shooting? That's an AOL. It's in a rural area. And then I had another AOL of a mass grave. And then I saw this, and I don't think I've got the building correctly drawn, but it was a small, looked like one-story building. I don't know that there was a cross there. I think this was my imagination now. And I think I saw bodies lying around it. I had an AOL of, was it children? Dead, cold, sad, scared. Children, poisoning, cult. I had an AOL of the Branch Davidians. Was this some kind of cult type action where they committed suicide, like a mass suicide type of thing? The other thing about this session here, before I get to the next part of it, I also at the beginning of this part thought, wow, maybe this is a major building collapse. I didn't record that data. I'm just getting it out here now. So this could be off, and I could have gone off on my imagination, and it could have been a building collapse. Maybe it's both. And I'm saying that to record it so I can go back later and look at this and say, okay, next time I get that feeling, maybe I should have gone with that one instead of this one. This will help me evaluate when I get my feedback at the end of the month. What's most interesting to me? The mindset, the leader, cult, follower. What happened? How was it done? Planning, escape. And I just had a feeling of shock. Many people watching and shocked. And then I was done. I was done my session, closed it out, and I went to do my morning yoga practice. And as I'm doing it, I'm still kind of connected to my remote viewing. And I just saw this in my mind. TikToker viral blogger dies. I had an AOL, an overdose, a prank gone wrong. And then I had Logan Paul's reaction, seen by many. I don't know if it was a reaction that was seen by many or the TikToker's death that was seen by many. So there are my events that I'm looking at. Completed the session in September 2021, looking to see what's going to appear in the news in October 2021. One more disclaimer with my September predictions. I did cherry pick my data that I feel was target contact. There was a lot of noise in my September predictions as well. But it's fun to go back and look at, what were my hits? Where was I making contact with the target? And I think I did have some pretty good target contact, and it hopefully is helping me to refine my process as a viewer. But I still have a lot to learn, and many more practices to do, which I will continue as this journey moves on. So to all of you that watch this, provide feedback, that comment, that like, all of that, I want to say thank you so very much for your support. It really does. It motivates me and it inspires me and it encourages me when I'm feeling kind of down, and being too hard on myself when I'm not feeling like I'm doing so great. So I want to thank you all for just being a part of this, really this training process for me with remote viewing. It's really a dream come true to learn this skill set, remote viewing. So thank you to everybody who continues to support, my journey. So that's going to do it, friends. Dennis Nappy II here with Sixth Sense Media, reminding you to never stop questioning, keep an open mind, and let your intuition be your guide. Thank you.